Have you ever heard these familiar phrases? Vitamin D is good for your bones. Vitamin E helps the heart. Take a little brain booster before bed just to be safe. They sound simple, healthy. We trust them. We follow them every day. But have you ever considered that those very habits, the ones meant to protect you, might actually lead to a silent stroke while you sleep? Picture this. It's an ordinary evening. You take your usual nighttime vitamins. You settle into bed beside your spouse, ready for a restful night. But the next morning, you wake up and can't speak. Your right arm won't move, and you can't call for help. A silent stroke occurred right in the middle of the night. I'm a neurologist, and I've seen this far too often. Older adults who live responsibly. They don't smoke. They don't eat salty foods. And yet, they suffer a sudden stroke. Not because they did something wrong, but because they didn't know their bodies had changed. At 60 or 70, your body no longer handles medication and supplements the way it did at 30. Your liver clears substances more slowly. Your blood pressure fluctuates more during sleep. Your blood vessels are thinner, more fragile. So when you take the wrong kind of vitamin, or take it at the wrong time, the risk isn't just about the pill itself. It's about what happens while you're sleeping. The real issue is, no one warns you. We take these supplements, believing they'll help us live longer, healthier lives. But sometimes, what we believe is beneficial may quietly steal our memory, our mobility, even our independence. That's why in the next section, I'll walk you through 5 common vitamins that may increase your risk of silent stroke if used improperly. More importantly, I'll show you how to take them safely, or replace them with better options. Because sometimes, one small change in your bedtime routine can protect your clarity, your independence, and your future. Vitamin D is often referred to as the sunshine vitamin, and its name alone radiates health. It's a supplement that millions of older adults trust. Good for bones, good for mood, and helps fight aging. While that's true, it's only half the story. The other half, which few people mention, is the most important. Vitamin D can silently lead you to a stroke, especially at night. I once treated Mr. Thomas, a 74-year-old, meticulous and healthy veteran. Every morning he took his vitamins on schedule, just as he did in the military. Among these was a high dose of vitamin D 10,000 IU, which he bought at the pharmacy. The stronger, the better, he said, believing he was protecting his bones and memory. But one early morning, his wife found him sitting motionless by the bed, unable to speak, with his right hand completely stiff. He had suffered a stroke while sleeping, a stroke with no warning signs. Test results showed his blood calcium levels were high, his brain blood vessels were stiffened, and his blood pressure fluctuated wildly throughout the night. And the cause was vitamin D. Older adults don't process vitamin D the same way they did when they were younger. When taking high doses, especially at night, the body converts vitamin D into calcium, but doesn't know how to handle the excess calcium. It silently accumulates in the blood vessels, thickening, hardening, and narrowing them. Eventually, with something as simple as dehydration while sleeping or a drop in blood pressure during the night, a blood clot will form and travel directly to the brain. The frightening part is there are no symptoms beforehand. You go to bed feeling healthy and wake up in a state where you can't even call for help. Many people think that taking 5,000 or 10,000 IU daily is normal, but for those over 60, this could be too much. If you're not deficient in vitamin D, only around 800 to 1,000 IU per day is enough. What's even more important is the timing. Vitamin D should be taken in the morning, after a meal, the time when the body absorbs it most effectively, without putting pressure on it at night. It should never be taken right before bed, and it's especially dangerous to combine it with calcium supplements, unless specifically prescribed by a doctor. Who should be most cautious? Those on heart medications, osteoporosis treatments, people with a history of kidney stones or high blood pressure. However, even healthy individuals who self-administer high doses daily without regular blood tests are on a risky path, and they may not even know it. I understand that we all want to keep our bones strong, our minds sharp, and live a more active life every day. But health doesn't come from high doses. It comes from the right dose. Vitamin D is a wonderful ally if you know how to use it, but if misused, it can become a health trap, especially if you believe taking it every night is caring for yourself. So if you're taking vitamin D every day, pause for a moment, double-check your dosage, consult your doctor, and ask yourself, am I supporting my body or unknowingly harming it in my sleep? Vitamin E has long been marketed as a natural shield for heart health. It's found in countless supplements, often promoted for improving circulation, boosting memory, and fighting aging. For older adults, it seems like the perfect ally, a gentle vitamin to keep time at bay. But behind that harmless image, many have paid a heavy price with their brain health. I'll never forget Eleanor James, an 81-year-old retired librarian from Ohio. Sharp-minded, well-read, and always careful with her health. She had been on warfarin, a blood thinner prescribed by her cardiologist after valve replacement surgery. Everything was going well, until she added a high-dose, natural vitamin E supplement she read about in a senior health magazine. It was just to help my memory and circulation, she said. But 3 weeks later, she was rushed to the ER with severe headaches, confusion, and vomiting. An MRI revealed a brain hemorrhage. A small vessel had ruptured. It wasn't due to a fall. It wasn't caused by high blood pressure. It was because her blood had become too thin, the result of combining warfarin with high-dose vitamin E. What many don't realize is that vitamin E acts as a natural blood thinner. Taken alone, it may not cause harm. But when combined with medications like warfarin, aspirin, Plavix, or newer drugs like Eliquis, the blood can become dangerously thin. And in an aging brain, where vessels are already fragile, it only takes a tiny rupture to cause a serious bleed. The bigger danger, no one warns you. Many vitamin E supplements in the US contain between 200 and 1,000 IU per capsule, while older adults only need about 22 IU daily. That's a difference of 10, sometimes 50 times more than necessary. And because we think it's just a vitamin, we take it daily, often on top of multivitamins that already contain vitamin E, without realizing we're thinning our blood far beyond safe limits. Eleanor survived, but now she walks with a frame. Her short-term memory isn't what it used to be, and the moment that stays with me most was when she said during a follow-up visit, "I only wanted to help myself. I didn't know I was hurting myself." I'm not sharing this to scare you away from vitamins. I'm sharing it because no symptoms doesn't mean no danger, especially if you're on heart or blood pressure medications. Before adding any supplement, even the ones labeled natural, ask your doctor. Check the labels on your multivitamins. And remember, when it comes to your blood and your brain, even a little extra can be too much. Your heart health matters, so does your brain. But if a pill meant to support the heart ends up making your brain's blood vessels more fragile, is that really balance? Take a moment today to check your medicine cabinet, and if there's a high-dose vitamin E capsule in there, ask yourself, am I helping my circulation or quietly making my vessels more vulnerable each day? For years, vitamin B6 has been seen as a friend to the nervous system. It's found in countless supplements for memory, fatigue, and is often advertised as a brain nutrient, especially in formulas for older adults. But what few people know, and what I've seen firsthand, is that if taken the wrong way, or in the wrong dose, vitamin B6 can cause irreversible nerve damage. It can rob you of your balance, your ability to walk, or even the feeling in your hands and feet. I'll never forget Harold Carter, 76 years old, a retired truck driver from Kansas. He came into my clinic complaining of pins and needles in both feet, difficulty holding objects, and most concerning, he had started losing his balance, especially at night. At first, he thought it was just aging. Then one night, he slipped on the way to the bathroom, hit his head on the sink, and was rushed to the ER with a mild concussion. But the fall wasn't the full story. When I reviewed his medication and supplement list, one detail stopped me. He was taking 2 nerve support capsules daily, each with 100 milligrams of vitamin B6. That's 200 milligrams a day. Older adults only need 2 to 10 milligrams per day. He had been doing this for over a year, thinking it would protect his memory and reduce fatigue. In reality, he was slowly poisoning his nervous system without even realizing it. Unlike other water-soluble vitamins like vitamin C or B12, B6 doesn't flush out easily in older adults. It can accumulate in the nervous system, especially if kidney function is reduced. And when levels get too high, it damages the myelin sheath, the protective coating around your nerves. It's like stripping the insulation off an electrical wire. The signals from your brain to your hands, feet, and balance centers become scrambled. You lose sensation. Muscles weaken. Your hands shake. And it can even be mistaken for early dementia. Harold was lucky we caught it in time. The damage wasn't fully reversible, but he avoided more serious injuries. He now walks with a cane and has stopped all high-dose B6 supplements. During a follow-up visit, he told me something I'll never forget. I thought I was protecting my brain. I didn't know I was making it weaker. I'm not sharing this to scare you. I'm sharing it because even supplements you believe are good for your nerves can become dangerous if taken without medical guidance, especially when used for months or years at high doses. If you're taking memory or nerve support supplements, check the label. If you see vitamin B6 in amounts over 50 milligrams per day, talk to your doctor or pharmacist. And if you've been feeling tingling in your hands or feet, unsteady when walking, or like your feet don't quite touch the ground, don't just blame aging. Think about what you're putting into your body every day. Clarity doesn't come from taking more. It comes from understanding what's right and using it the right way. And sometimes, stopping a supplement you thought was helping might be the first step to saving your hands, your feet, and your precious independence. You've probably heard that vitamin A supports healthy vision, boosts immunity, and keeps your skin glowing. And you're not wrong. But here's something few people ever mention. When vitamin A builds up in your body, it can silently increase pressure inside your brain like a balloon being slowly overinflated. And one day, you might wake up with blurry vision, constant headaches, dizziness, and nausea. You might assume it's just aging. But sometimes, the real culprit is that little pill you've been taking for years. I'll never forget Lillian Moore, a 79-year-old retired piano teacher from Oregon. She came to my clinic with ongoing headaches, occasional blurred vision, and lightheadedness when standing up. Her family feared dementia, or even a brain tumor. But after a full workup, we discovered the problem wasn't in her brain scans, but in something that looked completely harmless. Her daily eye vitamin supplement, the one she had taken faithfully for 5 straight years. Each capsule contained 10,000 IU of vitamin A. She took it every single day. No breaks, no questions asked. When we did an MRI and analyzed her spinal fluid, we saw signs of a condition called idiopathic intracranial hypertension, or pseudotumor cerebri. There was no tumor, no bleeding, but her brain was under pressure, like it was being squeezed from the inside out. Why? Vitamin A is fat-soluble. It doesn't flush out easily like B vitamins or vitamin C. Over time, especially in older adults with slower liver function, it can build up in the central nervous system. Pressure rises inside the skull. Small blood vessels become fragile. Cerebrospinal fluid backs up. The symptoms appear slowly and are easy to mistake for normal aging. Headaches, blurry vision, dizziness, loss of balance. Lillian was lucky we caught it in time. We immediately stopped the supplement, started treatment, and monitored her brain pressure closely. It still took months before she regained her stability while walking, but perhaps the biggest loss was her trust in something she thought was keeping her healthy. I'm not telling you this to make you suspicious of every vitamin, but after age 60, your body changes. The liver detoxifies more slowly. Body fat stores more fat-soluble substances, and anything unused like excess vitamin A can silently create pressure from within. What's more concerning is that many multivitamins already contain the full daily requirement of vitamin A. But then people add another pill for eye health or glowing skin, and without realizing it, they push their total intake far beyond the safe limit. The recommended upper limit for older adults is about 2,500 to 3,000 IU per day. But most eye health or liver detox supplements on the market exceed this and are taken for years without pause. If you've ever taken a daily vitamin A supplement without checking the dose, if you've had unexplained headaches, blurred vision, or dizziness, it might be time to take a closer look at your medicine cabinet, because sometimes the problem isn't in your eyes, it's in the pressure building silently inside your brain. Mental clarity is something we all want to preserve as we age, but to protect it, we need something more powerful than any vitamin: understanding. Because sometimes the very thing you thought was making your eyes brighter might slowly be dimming the sharpness of your mind. Among all the heart-healthy vitamins people talk about, few get more praise than niacin, or vitamin B3. It's often sold as a natural remedy to lower cholesterol, boost circulation, and protect the heart. A so-called blood booster sounds trustworthy, right? But if you're over 60 and taking niacin daily, here's what you need to know. That pill might be quietly creating a pressure storm in your brain, tightening blood vessels, spiking your blood pressure, and raising your stroke risk with every dose. I remember Dennis Alvarez, 82, a retired mailman from Florida. He came to see me for recurring facial flushing, chest tightness, and lightheadedness every morning. His wife thought it was anxiety. His son suspected a reaction to his blood pressure meds. But when I reviewed his supplement list, one bottle immediately caught my eye. A natural cholesterol support supplement he had ordered online. The label read, Niacin 1000 mg, take twice daily. That's over 60 times the recommended daily amount for older adults. Even worse, he'd been taking it for months without any medical supervision. With each dose, his blood vessels dilated rapidly, causing facial flushing and warmth. But soon after, they would constrict again, creating a cycle of blood pressure swings, spiking, crashing, spiking again. This up-and-down pattern disrupted blood flow to his brain, like tapping a fragile window over and over. Until finally, a crack appeared. For Dennis, that crack was a transient ischemic attack, TIA, a mini-stroke. He lost his ability to speak clearly for 2 minutes, then recovered. But this wasn't just a scare. It was a warning shot. A real stroke could be next if things didn't change. Even flush-free or time-released forms of niacin, when taken at high doses, can constrict blood vessels in the brain, trigger irregular heartbeats, and even increase insulin resistance. Younger bodies may compensate. But in older adults with fragile vessels, tired hearts, and already unstable blood pressure, high-dose niacin is like pouring fuel on a flickering flame. I understand why many seniors turn to niacin to avoid prescription drugs. They think, it's just a vitamin, it must be safer. But niacin is not a harmless candy. It's a biologically active compound, and without proper monitoring, it can push your body out of balance in minutes. Thankfully, Dennis stopped the niacin after our visit. Within weeks, the facial flushing disappeared, his blood pressure stabilized, and the morning dizziness faded. I just wanted to live longer, he told me. I didn't realize I was gambling with my brain. So if you're taking any heart support supplements, read the label closely. Niacin can hide under names like nicotinic acid, vitamin B3, or non-flushing forms. But regardless of the form, if the dose is over 50 milliliters per pill, or you're taking multiple pills daily, talk to your doctor. And if you often feel flushed, lightheaded, or headachy in the morning, ask yourself, is this normal? Or is my body trying to tell me something? Because yes, heart health matters deeply. But if you're protecting the heart while harming the brain's blood vessels, that's not true protection. Between living longer and living well, the choice starts with understanding what you put in your body, one pill at a time. After hearing about the hidden risks of certain vitamins, you might be asking, so what is safe to take? If not supplements, then how do I support my memory, blood pressure, and brain health? The answer might already be sitting on your breakfast plate. I think of Carol Jennings, age 73, a retired elementary school principal from Arizona. She came into my office with a familiar concern. I'm doing everything right, but I still feel tired and dizzy every morning. We reviewed her routine together. Her medicine cabinet looked like a mini health store multivitamins, brain-boosting B complex, vitamin D for bones, niacin for cholesterol, vitamin E for the heart. Each pill had a purpose. Each one was meant to help. But taken together, it was a chaotic mix, and no one was supervising it. So instead of adding more, We started by taking away. We stopped the unnecessary pills. We removed the anxiety she felt every time she opened that cabinet. Then we rewrote her prescription using real food. Her breakfast shifted from boxed cereal to something nourishing, yet simple. 1 boiled egg, half an avocado, a slice of whole grain toast, a handful of blueberries, and a warm glass of water. Sometimes she added a few walnuts or almonds. No pills, just foods her body could recognize, digest, and absorb naturally. A few weeks later, she returned with a gentle smile. "I don't feel dizzy anymore," she said. "My mornings feel lighter. My head feels clearer." Food, when chosen wisely, can nourish your brain better than most supplements. Leafy greens like spinach and kale provide folate and antioxidants. Fatty fish like salmon are rich in omega-3s that support brain cells. Berries contain polyphenols that protect your neurons. Nuts like almonds, flax seeds, and walnuts deliver vitamin E, magnesium, and healthy fats. Whole grains help keep blood sugar steady, crucial for preventing morning blood pressure spikes. I'm not here to dismiss the role of vitamins, but if you're taking a pill without knowing whether your body actually needs it, that pill might be creating a new imbalance you never saw coming. Real food is different. It doesn't just contain vitamins. It also offers fiber, enzymes, minerals, things no capsule or tablet can fully replicate. You don't need a fancy green smoothie with a dozen superfoods every morning. You just need simple, fresh, digestible choices that fit your body. And most importantly, let your meals be something you control, not a pill with a label you can't even pronounce. Carol once believed those pills were keeping her healthy, but a few weeks of real nourishment made her realize, those pills didn't help me live better. They just made me forget what feeling truly well was supposed to be. If you've made it this far, I believe you're not just watching a health video. You're doing something much more important. You're listening to your body. You're like millions of others who once believed that anything natural must be safe, that taking an extra vitamin E was good for the heart, that increasing vitamin D would strengthen your bones, that popping a brain booster every night would keep your memory sharp. I don't blame you, because no one ever taught us this simple truth. Aging is a journey of change. Your liver slows down in filtering fat-soluble vitamins. The blood vessels in your brain become more fragile. Your body reacts differently to things that once worked well when you were younger. The scary part isn't the vitamins themselves. It's the belief that a little more won't hurt. A 5,000 IU vitamin D pill every night, a 1,000 mg dose of niacin each morning, a vitamin B6 supplement taken all year without a single checkup. Then, one morning, you wake up. You can't speak clearly. You can't stay balanced. You can't remember your grandchild's name. And suddenly, you realize the real danger may not have been in the pill, but in the quiet habit that built up over time. As a doctor who's worked with thousands of older adults, one thing has become clear to me. Most of them didn't make mistakes because they were careless, but because they were uninformed. No one told them vitamin E could increase bleeding risk if you're on blood thinners. No one warned that vitamin A can silently build up in your liver and raise pressure inside your brain. No one mentioned that after age 60, even harmless supplements can behave differently in the body. So if you're holding a pill in your hand, pause for a second. Don't swallow it just yet. Instead, ask yourself, do I really need this? Have I ever had a blood test for this nutrient? Am I taking this because someone recommended it, or because a doctor prescribed it? Open your medicine cabinet. Look at the labels. Look at the dosages. You might be surprised to see that a single vitamin A capsule provides 300% of your daily need, or that a brain support pill contains 200 milligrams of B6, 20 times the safe limit. And if something gives you pause, let that be your starting point. I don't want you to fear vitamins. I just want you to reclaim control. Ask your doctor. Listen to your body. Choose real food over a synthetic blend. And if you need help, speak up. You are not alone in this journey. Now, I have one gentle question for you. Tomorrow morning, what will you change first? Will you start with an extra glass of water? Will you ask your doctor about that nightly supplement? Or maybe, will you share this video with someone you quietly worry about? Leave a comment below with something you've learned or a habit you want to change. Let's support and remind each other, because your words might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. And if you found this video helpful, don't hesitate to share it, because knowledge only matters when it's passed on. Thank you for listening, and may you always live with clarity, strength, and independence in your own way.